now. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody just in case anyone pops on. There we go. And as you come to your comfortable seat, we won't stay in our seat for long because that's a part of what we're trying to work through, right? As you come to your comfortable seat, just take a moment to adjust, move your sitting bones. And then as you let your hands do a little pressing down on your legs, lengthen up through your sides and draw your shoulder blades onto your back, opening and expanding here through your front body, through your chest. You can let your eyes close if that feels comfortable and begin to tune into an even and full inhale and exhale in and out of your nose. Let's bring some focus to an intention of letting go of what feels stuck. Letting go of some of the things that we hold on to in our bodies throughout our day that we don't really have to hold on to, that it's okay to let go of. So let's focus on letting go. And we can tune into that as a mantra right now. Inhaling let, exhaling go. And you can do this silently to yourself, or you're welcome to speak the words out loud, your choice. Inhaling let, exhaling go. For a few more rounds of breath. Then connecting hands together at heart center. Gently press your palms together and lift your heart up a little higher, lengthening from your ribs. As you exhale now, bow toward your heart, taking a moment to honor yourself for being here on your mat. Then softly opening your eyes and releasing your hands down, begin to lift up and open through your shoulders and lengthen through the back of your neck. And we'll take just a couple movements from our seat. So as you inhale and reach your arms up overhead, you're welcome to clasp your hands here if that feels good, and lift up even higher. Lift up with your heart. Take a full, big, deep breath. And then do a little bit of movement side to side. As you move side to side, think about lengthening hip to armpit on one side, hip to armpit on the other side. And now, as you come back up to center, take a hold of your right wrist and stretch over to the left side. Take a full big breath here, rooting down through both sitting bones. Inhale, come back up to center, switch wrists, and exhale over to the right side. Again, root down with both sitting bones and take a deep breath. Inhale, come back up to center, release your wrists, arms back down by your sides, and then go ahead and switch the cross of your legs, coming to maybe the less comfortable cross for yourself. Move your sitting bones back and broad. And then we're taking hands out to our knees and finding that movement in a seated cat-cow. Inhale, belly and heart forward. Exhale, press back through your spine. We have 3 more deep breaths this way, letting your breath match your movement. Then inhale, sit tall, long through your spine, and take right hand across to your left knee or thigh, wherever it comfortably comes to. And then press down with fingertips behind you or beside you. Lift up through your ribs. Exhale, engage slightly through your ribs to help yourself twist a little bit more. Inhale, come back into center. And exhale, take that twist over to the right side. Pressing down with your fingertips behind you, lengthen even more. Use your low ribs drawing in to help you twist a little more. Inhale, come back into center. And now we're going to shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we'll settle right back with hips toward our heels into a child's pose. And as you come into this child's pose, let your head come to rest on something. It could be the floor, it could be a prop. Take a couple big breaths and add some movement side to side with hips. Maybe a reach further forward through your arms. Full breath. And now as you inhale and rise up to your hands and knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And then root down through palms and fingertips. Sway hips a little side to side, starting to get a little bit into that outside edge of your legs where your IT bands are. And as you find that sway, take it slow enough to be able to sense on each side what's happening for you. What's there for sensation? And now coming back into center, again, on hands and knees, you're always welcome to add a cushion underneath your knees, but we're reaching our right hand out in front of our left, coming up onto fingertips there, and then round upward through your spine, especially through the ribs, and then shift hips back a little ways toward your heel. Take a full big breath into your back right side. Inhale, come back into center. And now we're taking left hand out in front of the right, coming up onto fingertips. And round upward again through the ribs. Settle hips back a little ways and take a big breath into the left back body. Inhale, come back up to center. And now as you root down through palms and fingertips, start to reach back with your right leg, and your toes can be on the ground or lifted, your choice. And I'll turn sideways so that you can see here. So you could either have toes down or you can lift your leg. You choose. Whichever variation you're choosing, reach through your heel and then lift up slightly with your hip. So you're lifting the right hip up, turning a little open with the hip. Take a big deep breath, extend your heart a little further forward. And then exhale, your knee comes back to the ground. You're settling back onto your hands and knees. And then reset the hands. So think of pushing and expanding into the upper back. And then reach back with your left leg. And again, your toes can be up or down, your choice. Begin to lift up with the hip. And as you extend further forward with your heart, take a full breath. Exhale, both knees come to the ground. This time, big toes together, knees wide as you start to settle hips back towards your heels again into this child's pose. And now we'll turn this into more of a shoulder stretch. So you have your choice. You can reach your arms back alongside your body, reaching back towards your feet here. Or you can bend your elbows and bring hands together in a prayer position or Anjali Mudra, settling your head down. Take a couple full breaths into that space in between your shoulder blades. And then gently rise back to your hands and knees. And now we're going to step right foot forward in between our hands. You're always welcome to have blocks here for your hands or something to put your hands on. But then work your back knee back a little ways so that you have that stretch through the back thigh. Take a deep breath. Extend longer through your heart. Think of ribs and collarbones moving forward. And now we're walking both hands to the inside and heel toeing our right foot out to the right. So your knee and your toes are at the same angle. And then lift up with the front part of your foot. So you're on your heel as your pivot point. And then rotate open with your knee, turning it open to the right. Extend your heart forward. Big, deep breath. And now bring your foot back into center. Heel toe it back in, hands on either side of your front leg, and then we'll settle back onto hands and knees. And again, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. This time, add some movement in that cat-cow action. Inhale, tilt your belly a little downward, open and expand with the heart. Exhale, round upward through your spine. Take 2 more this way. Full, deep inhale, long, full exhale. Then as you come back into a neutral place for your spine, you're stepping your left foot forward in between your hands. And again, blocks are always an option. Work your right knee further back so you have that extra stretch through the back thigh, and lengthen forward through your ribs, your collarbones. Big breath. Then walking hands to the inside, heel toe your left foot out to the left so that knee and toes are in the same angle. And then lift up with the front part of your foot so you're on your heel as your pivot point. And then you're pivoting on the heel, opening the knee up to the left side. Extend longer through the heart. Full breath. And now bring your foot back into center and settle back again one more time into your child's pose. And this time, if you'd like to take the narrow version with your knees, you can bring your knees together and settle hips back, coming into a little bit more of a traditional child's pose. Full couple of breaths as you settle into this pose. And you can notice for yourself what's different in this variation. Two more full breaths right here. And then as you inhale and rise back to your hands and knees, we'll take a hamstring stretch now. So step the right foot forward again, and props for your hands, whatever you have to use. And it could be a pillow or bolster, it could be a stack of a few things. But we're going to come to this hamstring stretch with hips moving back, rising up as high as you have for props, making your front leg as straight as is comfortable without locking the knee joints. You're going to keep a little micro bend if you do tend to lock that joint. So wrap your right hip back and pull your toes back. Good flex of your foot there. And now send sitting bones up. Extend your heart forward. Take a deep breath. And now inhale, bend into your front knee. And then we'll take a spinal twist here, taking the left hand to a block or the floor on the edge of your mat, right hand to your knee as you turn your belly and your heart to the right side. And as you find that for yourself, put both shoulder blades on your back. If stretching up feels good, feel free to go there. Deep breath. Next exhale, both hands come back down to the ground and you're settling to hands and knees. And pause for a moment on your hands and knees. One more round of cat and cow. Inhale, belly tilts down. Exhale, round upward through the spine. And then come back to that neutral place and step the left foot forward. Again, props for your hands, whatever you happen to have here. And then you're working your hips back, working your front leg towards straight, and bringing props underneath your shoulders here to stack your wrists, if that's where your body gets to be right now. Pull toes back and wrap your hip back. Left hip wraps back. Sitting bones lift as you extend your heart forward. Take a deep breath. Then inhale, bend into your front knee, spinal twist on the second side. You can have a block or a prop or the floor for your hand. Right hand comes down, left hand to your knee. As you turn your belly and heart to the left, shoulder blades are both engaging. Maybe stretch the top arm up. Deep inhale and exhale. Next, exhale, both hands come back down to the ground and settle back to hands and knees. And this time we're going to bring our hips off to one side, legs out in front. And then first thing, we'll take a butterfly, a bound angle pose. Soles of feet come together as close to your body as you need to be able to sit tall. So if that means moving your feet a little away from you to find that, then please feel free. Hold on where you need to. It could be shins, it could be your toes, or maybe pushing into the floor behind you to find a long spine. From this place, if it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Take a full big breath. And now if you'd like to add a little fold here, you're welcome to fold towards your feet. And remember, you can always move your feet away from you a little ways to take that fold. And where that is for you, I kind of like them somewhere in between, not quite all the way extended, but not quite all the way in either. Take a deep inhale and lengthen even more through your spine. Exhale, settle into the place for this stretch for you. Not trying to make it deeper, just go to your place. And then inhale, rise all the way back up, knees come together. And then we're laying all the way down onto our backs. And as you find that position on your back with your footprints on the ground, make sure props are close by. We're going to take right knee in toward our chest, left leg extends all the way out against the ground, and then clasp behind the back side of your right thigh and begin to press hamstrings into your hands. Reach through your heels on both feet, activating your feet here. Deep, full inhale and exhale. And now keep that press of hamstrings into your hands as you take your leg just slightly across your body to the left side, where your right hip is still planted on the ground, but you're getting a little longer stretch through the outside of your right leg. Reach your heel, full breath. Then inhale back into center, bend your knee, take your right hand to your knee and open your knee up to the right side, giving your foot a flex here. And then you're moving your knee a little forward and back. You can always add a little in and out movement as well. As you find that movement for yourself, take a full breath and just notice if there's any tension through the hip socket. Then inhale back into center with your knee. And you can set right foot on the ground, draw your left knee in toward your chest, then clasp behind your left thigh. Pressing hamstrings into your hands, reach up through your heel. Extend the right leg if that feels good in your body. Take a full big breath. Activate both feet. Think of pulling toes back toward your knees. And now taking your leg just slightly across your body to the right side, where your left hip can still be planted. Reach through your heel, press hamstrings into hands, take a full breath. And now coming back into center, bend your knee, and then you're taking left hand to your knee and opening it up to the right side. Give your foot a flex, and then add a little bit of movement here forward and back with your knee. You're also welcome to add that in and out movement with your knee too. And give yourself that information of how this particular joint is moving. And then bring your knee back into center. Both knees come up in toward your chest. And then you can have them narrow or wide, whichever feels the best. Flex your feet and add a little rocking here. Little side to side rock. And now with your hands on the insides of your knees as you open them up wide, give your feet a flex, and then you're moving your knees in opposite directions here. So as your right knee moves forward, your left knee draws back. As your left knee moves forward, your right knee draws back. As you move here, notice for yourself all the way at your pelvis, and even at your sacrum, and just notice the movement and how things feel. And now back into center here. Hug your knees in close. And again, that could be with wide or narrow legs. And set footprints on the ground. Drop knees in together to touch. And then come to a cactus with your arms, that 90-degree angle place. And just for a moment, you get to notice how your elbows are resting and how your hands are resting. You might find that your hands are a little bit lifted or your elbows don't quite touch, but just notice without trying to make anything happen here. Take a big breath into that space between the shoulder blades. And now we're going to move our arms. We're going to keep this bend to our elbows and draw fingertips to connect over the top of your head with those bent elbows, and then elbows more toward your sides. And then fingertips to connect overhead, and then elbows close to your sides. And we'll go through a couple more of these. Fingertips to touch, and then elbows by your sides. One more. And now as you come back to that 90-degree place, go ahead and bring elbows in together to touch so that your elbows are lifted above your chest. Palms are touching here, and then add little circles with your elbows. And then circle in the other direction. And now cross one arm over the other and give yourself a hug. Walking fingertips toward your shoulder blades. You might even tip a little side to side to move a little closer. And then take a really big breath into that space between your shoulder blades. And now switch the cross. And again, you might move a little side to side to inch your fingertips a little further. And then take a deep breath into that space between the shoulder blades. And now go ahead and release your arms. And we're going to take our pillow or bolster and bring it underneath our legs. And even more so, we're going to take our feet into butterfly here. So our soles of the feet are coming to touch. If this is comfortable, knees are open wide. And hopefully if you have a pillow underneath them, then that's a big enough place for your knees to rest. And if it's not, then you can just take props underneath your knees to support them instead. And now from this place, if you do have a blanket, you can set it over the top of you, setting it over your ribs, maybe your belly, your hips. And we'll take a few moments in this reclined version of butterfly, allowing gravity to do a little bit of its work. Your back body settling into the ground. You can always close your eyes here if you would like to. Take some full big breaths. We have about 20 more seconds right here. And now you have your choice. You can keep your legs over the bolster and just extend them out long to give them a little shift in position and stay right here for Shavasana. Or you're welcome to move the bolster aside and let your whole body rest completely against the ground. But start to set yourself up into your most comfortable resting pose. And as you find that place for yourself, those first few breaths are for you to shift and move and make it more comfortable. And then give yourself permission to let go and find stillness. Bring awareness back to your breath. Add some gentle movement into fingers and toes. And as you feel ready to, bend your knees and roll to your side. Then very gently press yourself back up to your seat. And with hands coming together at heart center, take a moment with your breath to tune back in and notice. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your night. Namaste.